Good afternoon, everybody. This is Trey getting back in touch with you from Japan. I have gotten a couple of requests about my thoughts, particularly on the Apple stock split. They're going to be splitting 4-1. But I also saw a couple of really interesting news bites that I wanted to comment on. Number one being the Kodak drama, and then number two, the Tik Tok drama. Hope this video brings some interesting insight for you, some food for thought. I'd be interested to hear your comments afterwards below. As you've probably heard so far, there's a bunch of drama going on with TikTok. TikTok is the social media platform that everybody loves to hate, but saying that, it's growing faster than like anything right now. It's growing super fast, has more than 100 million downloads in the US alone, and more than 2 billion, I think, worldwide, which is kind of like unfathomable. But there are a lot of claims that TikTok, being a Chinese company, is also spying on everybody all over the world and sending all of that information to the Chinese government. Apparently there was a rule made in China a few years ago where if the Chinese government demands it, any Chinese company must give them whatever information they request. TikTok has said up until now, no, we haven't given them any information. Doesn't necessarily mean that won't change in the future. So we've heard some news last week about Microsoft potentially buying TikTok and then making it into an American thing, which would solve all of those problems, I think. And it would also be a really interesting way for Microsoft to debut their social media presence against the likes of Facebook and Google. And so around that news, with Microsoft potentially buying TikTok, Donald Trump and other administrators have also been saying like, hey guys, this is a security threat. We need to shut this down. And so after Trump started talking about blocking TikTok, TikTok is now saying, hey, we're going to sue you. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. I think any company has the right to say, hey guys, let us operate fairly, but who knows what kind of information they're taking. And actually any social media apps are taking all kinds of information from their users without most people knowing what's going on behind the scenes. And so there kind of is a security threat, I feel like, there. And I think it's wise for our country's government to be concerned about that. It'll be really interesting to see what happens on that front, and I'll keep you updated as well. For the second bit of news today, we're gonna look at the Kodak company. Kodak started out a long time ago basically in film and cameras. They haven't really been well known in the last little while, but recently they've been talking about making a transition to pharmaceuticals. The US International Development Finance Corp, or DFC for short, has been talking about, hey, we're gonna give you a huge loan, and that's gonna allow you to make that transition to pharmaceuticals, making you a brand new company. All kinds of Robin Hood investors basically jumped on that news and dove into the stock, sending the stock soaring up to, I think it was around 35 bucks. And that's after years and years of being worth like nothing. And now what's happening is that the US government looked into Kodak and they're saying, hey, it looks like there's some shady stuff going on with the way the directors are managing the company or managing some finance. We need to look into it more. But for now, you don't get your $765 loan. So after news of that broke, once again, stocks came crashing down. Now I think they're down to about 9-ish bucks, which means they dropped like 40% at the end of yesterday's trading day. That's like really unsettling. If I was a stock investor, I'd be terrified of that. But I think that all goes to say, when you're playing around with stocks like this that are just like roller coasters, you can't always expect it only to go up. You got to expect crazy drama like this when it's coming down too. So that's interesting news on the Kodak front. And finally, a few different people have been asking me about my thoughts on the Apple stock split. So Apple announced last week after their earnings call that, hey guys, we're gonna be doing a stock split 4-1, which basically means if you have one Apple stock, it will become 4 stocks. And let's just, for ease of math, I know it's not 400 bucks right now, but if you have one, that's 400 bucks. It gets split into 4, which are each 100 bucks. Generally speaking, this doesn't change the value of the company. The market cap of the company does not change. Therefore, if you're an investor in Apple, like I am, the amount of Apple you have doesn't change. But people are saying, wait, but doesn't this mean it probably is gonna go up and stuff like that? And it's been really interesting looking around at different opinions on the internet. I'm pretty certain things are gonna go up from here. I think with the way the market is switching to having so many new investors, especially like Robin Hood investors who are getting a bunch of money every week and just chilling at home, I would be really, really shocked after the split if things didn't keep going up. Even though it's really easy now to buy fractional shares, I think there are still a lot of people who don't have access to fractional shares or prefer to just buy in whole shares. So they might not have had $400 before, but now they probably have $100. And actually, even since that announcement last week, we saw the price of the stock go from like $380 up to $450. And companies as big as Apple generally don't move that quickly. They don't move that aggressively. But what we're seeing is a whole lot of interest from beginner investors. And a lot of these investors are kind of like, whoa, I can multiply by 4. That would be awesome. But on the flip side, there are also people saying like, I would like to own more of this because I know after the stock split, it will grow. And if you look back at Apple's history in the past, I think in 2014, they did a 7-to-1 split. And they've also done numerous splits before that. Every time, I think it was the management basically saying, hey, we know we're growing. We want to be more accessible to more shareholders. So we can do a split and it'll lower our price. And every time it keeps going up and up and up. And I really would be surprised if that didn't happen this time going into the future. So those are 3 little tidbits for you. I hope that was helpful. If you have a moment, please leave a like and a comment down below. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Have a great one, guys.